Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, reveal the books I bought this week, and if I screw up, a blooper reel. Happy 4th of July, everyone. I'm Victor, and you are watching the Comic Hero Show. Now kick that logo! Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nolly, and I am the Comic Hero. Coming to you over Clint's Comics right here in Monroe, Louisiana. And if you're watching this and you did not watch episode 171 of the show, stop! Watch episode 171. I just uploaded it a few days ago. It's the episode where I finally got the 8,000 comics in my collection. It was definitely lit here, and not just because there was a video game tournament going on here, but because after all, there were some folks that came to the video game tournament, then they heard me and they thought, oh, okay, what's this guy doing? This sounds great, and celebrated with a lot of people. Celebrated with Claire, celebrated with Will, celebrated with Tyler, and then one of my coworkers, Susie, came, and then good friend of the store, Crystal, and her daughter Brenda came. I tell you, it was amazing. So you should go. So watch episode 171, and then watch this episode. And this is a 4th of July themed Comic Hero tee. I've been wearing the same tee since 2013, and you know what? I don't care what anyone might think. I'm very, very, very grateful to be living in this country. I mean, it's not perfect. I mean, we have our flaws. Boy, do we have our flaws. But at least we have the freedoms and the opportunities that most countries in the world don't have. I mean, I know that, like I said, we are flawed and we have a long way to go. I mean, we still have a long way to go, but I wouldn't trade living in this country for anything else in the world. All right, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. All right, last week's episode I asked, what is the name of the planet where the Transformers are from? Well, the correct answer is Cybertron. And 10 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, their names have been entered in a drawing, and that drawing takes place right now. So, the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is... Huh. He said he never win a shirt on here on the show. Said it would never happen. And not only that, this person just walked in. Jared Takewell from West Monroe, Louisiana. So congratulations, Jared. You win yourself a free Comic Hero tee. All right, here's the question for next week's episode. And this is a Fantastic Four question. What is the name of the very first headquarters that the Fantastic Four set shop in? Everyone who answers correctly will be getting a drawing for a free tee in this week's episode. Well, next week's episode of the show, rather. And Eric Evans from Benton, Louisiana, has requested a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and this one features 2 Marvel characters who has something to do with magic. One can warp reality around them, and the other one is a master of the mystic arts. Representing Marvel, we have the Scarlet Witch. And also representing Marvel, we have Doctor Strange. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call... The Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's the Scarlet Witch versus Doctor Strange. The Scarlet Witch possesses probability manipulation, reality warping, and chaos magic. Doctor Strange is a practicing magician who draws his power from mystical entities such as Agamotto, Cyttorak, Icon, Ashtor, Rogador, and Watum, who lend their energies for spells. Strange also wields mystical artifacts including the Cloak of Levitation, which enables him to fly, the Eye of Agamotto, an amulet whose light is used to negate evil magic, the Book of the Vishanti, a grimoire which contains knowledge of white magic, and the Orb of Agamotto, a crystal ball which is used for clairvoyance. In addition to his magical abilities, Strange is trained in several martial arts disciplines. Who will win? Doctor Strange wouldn't dare go hand-to-hand with a woman, so he relies on magic. Scarlet Witch would strike first by warping reality, but Doctor Strange conjures up a spell to put him in a protective bubble. He then conjures up another spell that returns reality to its previous state. Extremely annoyed, the Scarlet Witch tries to end the fight by using her chaos magic against the Sorcerer Supreme. This proves to be her undoing, because chaos magic is evil magic. Doctor Strange uses the Eye of Agamotto to negate it, and conjures up a spell that permanently puts the Scarlet Witch to sleep. Doctor Strange wins, and that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and if you have a fight request for future episodes, contact info is down there. Alright then, let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
Alright, first up is Action Comics number 982. Now this is part 4 of the story arc entitled Revenge, where a Superman Revenge Squad is formed, and they're out to take out the Man of Steel permanently. Now, some of the members of, well, actually all the members of the Superman Revenge Squad, I know all of them, by the way. They are the Cyborg Superman, the Eradicator, Blanc, Mongol, Metallo, and General Zod. And it's starting to take shape, folks, and it won't be long until Man of Steel goes toe-to-toe with these guys. He's going to be in for the fight of his life. Alright. Next up is The Flash number 25. This is part of a new story arc entitled Running Scared. Now, The Flash has previously teamed up with the Hal Jordan Green Lantern for the first time since they were members of the Justice League before Hal left. And now this is the start of a new story arc, and I can't wait to read it. Alright, next up is Amazing Spider-Man number 29. This is the first tie-in to Secret Empire. And this time, Spider-Man goes up against the Superior Octopus. That's right, folks. I said it right. The Superior Octopus. And y'all can probably guess who the identity of the Superior Octopus is.
Doc Ock!
That's right, Jared. Doc Ock. And Secret Empire, it's very interesting. Love the book. Alright, next up is Wonder Woman number 25. This is another story. This is another chapter in the story arc called The Truth. And Dan Rucka has done such a great job writing the entire book with alternate story arcs. The first story arc in the odd number of books was called The Lies, and in the even number of books was Year One. And then when those story arcs ended, the odd number of books called The Truth. The story arc in the odd number of books was called The Truth, and an even number of books was called Godwatch. All right, next up is Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps number 23, and this book is quite interesting. Hal Jordan has returned to the Green Lantern Corps, and not only does he find out now he's returned, but he also not does he return, but also Kyle Rayner does as a full-fledged Green Lantern. He is no longer the White Lantern. He no longer wields all the colors of the emotional spectrum. He is now a full-fledged Green Lantern for the first time in a long time. And the Green Lanterns and the Yellow Lanterns, formerly known as the Sinestro Corps, have now are now working together on the planet Mogo. And then finally, Detective Comics number 959. This is a new story arc entitled Intelligence, where Batman teams up with Zatanna. And I'm still a little behind on this book. I'm still trying to catch up. The last story arc I read was Batwoman Begins, which was which pretty much a prelude to the current Batwoman book that's out in print. But yeah. All right, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 I bought, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 8,008. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and here's a question again for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. What is the name of the Fantastic Four's first headquarters? Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee in next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to our very own Jared Takewell for winning a free tee in this week's episode of the show. All right, it's birthday time here on the Comic Hero Show, and happy birthday tomorrow to my aunt, Laureen Turner.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're I'm still over the moon about getting to 8,000 comics. It's reading comics is a hobby that I like I said last week's episode, I have no regrets over. I mean, I read some good books, and I read some bad ones, but I don't regret it one bit. And I don't regret doing the show and sharing with you my love for comics. Or better yet, not just my love, but everyone's love who are right here. Not just my love, but Will's love for comics as well. Claire's love for comics, Jared's love for comics, and even though he stepped out, Tyler's love for comics. We just love comics. We love anything that has to do with with comics, cards, games, pop vinyls. Oh, which reminds me, just a minute.
Man, you'll put 11s up and look, and the Josh that owned that we were playing with next house in the Kodak. This is not fair. So not fair. Josh has a 6 and he's 11.
If you happen to come here to Clint's Comics, some of the pop vinyls you'll find an Ed pop vinyl from the show Cowboy Bebop, which is one of my all-time favorite anime series ever. And I'm also seeing some more. I'm seeing some from Street Fighter, from Power Rangers, X-Men, Marvel, Scooby-Doo, Marvel's Jessica Jones. I mean, you name it, it's here. And also, there are skateboards. Our friend Scott recently brought some. Our good friend Scott Leonard ended up bringing some skateboards here about a month ago. And so if you're into skating, come on by and get you a skateboard. All right. By the way, it's the 4th of July, folks. And if you plan on going out and celebrating with your family, just be careful out there. And but if you're watching the show while there are family around, I would advise you to please stop and wait until everyone leaves. You see, I'm a family guy, and I mean, I don't mind you watching my show, but don't do it when there's family around. Spend time with them. You can't. I don't care what anyone says. You cannot replace family, folks. But like I said, if you're watching this episode and you haven't watched episode 171, I would advise you to please stop and then go back, watch that, and then watch this episode. Episode 171 was lit. What wasn't it, guys?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And again, I want to thank everyone who came out, everyone who contributed. It was really one heck of a day. But but at the same time, well, nothing. It was really a fun day. And now that I got to 8,000, you're probably thinking, what's next? Keep on reading and buying, of course. All right, I'm Victor Nunley. I'm the Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 173. Right back here in Clint's Comics. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero, and happy 4th of July, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. Coming to you for Clint's Comics at Oh, well, that's the first blooper. Dirt-digger!